It certainly has, Cynthia. And this is a conversation we have, it feels like, every single election. And this one is no different. We've been hearing from party leaders about their promises, their ideas about how to get more housing built. And they're looking at different things, whether that be cutting taxes or creating new government agencies to help things move along. But how do developers feel about this? We thought, why not invite one here on City News? And Sherry Larjani joins us. Not only are you a developer, but you're also an affordable housing advocate here. With your background, this is a big question coming your way here. What will it take to address this housing crisis we're seeing across the country?
Well, thank you for having me, first of all. I think whichever one of the parties gets elected tonight, they have a very important job in front of them, and that is to address the housing crisis. It is now not just a crisis, it's a catastrophic crisis that we're dealing with. We are not getting any houses built, we're not selling any homes, and we're not moving anything. So whichever one of them comes into power tomorrow, starting day one, I think they should look at how they can implement the programs and the platforms that their parties are actually talking about, and informing and doing all of that very informed, because they need to be talking to the stakeholders, the developers, the people that are actually building these homes, and taking that information in and actually making sure that it gets implemented. Some of them have pretty good ideas with regards to changes that they want to bring to the conversation, but I think those changes need to happen immediately. It's not something that can wait for a year or two. It needs to happen like yesterday. So they need to be focusing on housing if they want to tackle the problem head on.
Are you encouraged about anyone's plans?
Well, I'm not so sure if that's something I should say, but I am encouraged about all the parties and different mandates that they are introducing as part of their platforms. Every one of them has a pretty significant concepts that they're bringing to the conversation, that many of those could address the housing crisis. But I think, it is important to look at it as a wholesome look. So it's not that it is related to one party. It has to be something that's more addressed in a way that it looks at the problems in different areas and addresses them as they should be. Development charges are something that's a huge problem in every municipality that I am currently dealing with. But there are municipalities that's definitely not a problem. So what I would suggest is that they look at those individually and they address them head on wherever they are and address them the right way. There's many different points that they bring across the table that could change the housing industry for better. The Liberal Party,
I was going to ask you about that. That was an idea brought forward by the Liberal Party, that they wanted to create a government agency to get things moving faster. What are your thoughts about that?
Not sure I'm very much in favor of more government.
Okay.
I would suggest that less government is definitely better when it comes to this problem, because what they say in their platform is that they want to be the developer. Now, I would like to say, and not considering myself, because I am probably one of the small developers in the city, we have mighty, strong, experienced developers in this country that can lead the way and build the housing that we need. They need to be incentivized. So I would prefer to see the money, the $6 billion that they want to invest in housing, not to be spent on more government, but rather on the government that's already existing. The Canada Mortgage and Housing Corporation is a government entity that is in charge of giving us the funding to build these homes. I would rather that money spent on giving them more labor and more bodies to actually process the applications and get the money out the door so that projects can actually get built. Not to create another level of government that, as we all know, might slow things down because of the bureaucracy that we are dealing with. And I would prefer to see that money spent in other places rather than in creating more government.
We have about 35 seconds left. What is the biggest challenge for you as a developer to get more homes built? I know you mentioned
bureaucracy in the cities, red tapes, and not being able to get the housing that we want to get approved is one of the biggest problems. And I would say, because I only have 35 seconds, the only way that anyone that comes into government can save the housing market is by getting all levels of government regardless of their party status, in one room and close the doors until they figure out a solution, because it can't be a one party or one, it can't be just at municipal level, federal level, or provincial level. It has to be that all three of them are working together so that they can fix the problem. And unless they all get in a room and talk to each other, they will not know about the problems that each other are dealing with. And I think that's the only way that they can tackle the crisis. I want to see that day where they're all sitting in the same room talking about housing and fixing the problem that we're dealing with.
I would like to be in that room if that ever happens.
I would love to be in that room as well.
Okay,
I'll join
Larjani, thank you so much. This was a great conversation. Really appreciate it. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
Cynthia, I'm going to send things back to you.